Once again, good afternoon and welcome to the NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Tournament Portland Regionals at the Moda Center and Practice Day Press Conference for Portland Regional 4. Once again, our general reminders, please silence all cell phones. There is no flash photography and no video allowed inside the press conference area. If you want to download the video, you can do so after the press conference at the NCAA Media Hub. We will take questions from the media room first, and then we will shift to any questions in the Zoom room. We ask that you please state your name and affiliation prior to asking your question, and please keep your questions pertaining to the upcoming game. With us right now from the University of Texas, Vic Schaefer. Coach, begin with your opening statement, and then we'll open up questions.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me today. Thanks for being here, everybody. It's a great day to be a Longhorn. You got your hand up? You got a question already? Okay. Excited to be here, excited to have my team here, giving God the glory for this group. It's an incredible group of young ladies. They have been absolutely nothing short of spectacular all year long. They're just a lot of fun to coach. I'm so proud of them and so happy for them that they've had the success they've had. They're a hard-working group. We've got some kids right now that are really focused. They're not ready to get to spring workouts yet. They like playing, and so we're just they've had a great day today. Really good practice today. Really seem to be focused, and so we're excited again to have this opportunity to represent a great conference in the Big 12 that we've been a part of. That's helped us get ready for this moment, and hopefully we can continue to go out and represent what's been a very tough league for us all year long, and a bunch of great players and great coaches. So with that, I'm ready.
Coach Greg Lee with the Spokesman Review. Can you explain to us why you're disappointed to be in Portland as the #1 seed and why you think this is a home game for Gonzaga?
Well, I've been here before. It took us 4 hours and 48 minutes to get here yesterday. That's wheels up to wheels down. I'm pretty sure it took them under an hour. I think their fans will be able to travel the 300 and something miles a whole lot easier than mine can the 2,000 and something miles. So for that reason, again, I've got experience being in this area, in this game, against that team. Happened to me in 2010 when I was an assistant at A&M against the very same team when Kelly was coaching them. So, but it's no big deal, really. I mean, we're coming off of, and I'm not disappointed to be here, by the way. You said I'm not disappointed at all to be the one. I wouldn't care if we were in Timbuktu or anywhere else. I'd be excited to be the 1 seed anywhere, and so, but it's. We're coming off playing in the Big 12 tournament championship where we played basically 3 home. Basically we were the road team for 3 games. We played Kansas, Kansas State, and then Iowa State in Kansas City. So, again, it just kind of comes with the territory. Again, I'd love to have a regional in the Midwest where it was kind of fair for everybody. I've also been in that where I've played in Dallas, I've played in Kansas City, I've played in Oklahoma City. A little easier for everybody to get there than here, but it's fine. We're excited. Like I said, I don't care where we're playing, and I promise you, my kids are probably excited the further the better. They like traveling, they're kids.
Sabrina Merchant, The Athletic. Coach, when Rory went down, was there any thought to Shaylee can run point guard, or how did you arrive at the decision that Maddie was going to be the one?
Yeah, so, Shaylee had to play a little bit of point guard last year, and when Rory went down for the 5 games with her foot issue, and then just in recruiting book so long, to me, I felt like that was our best option. I mean, we didn't really have a tryout. There was no tryout. First, I didn't have time. We had 3 days to get ready for our conference opener. So there was really never any doubt in my mind that Madison Booker was going to be our point guard. I like her skill set there, and it's panned out pretty good for us. So I just, there's been some bumps in the road, but man, there was bumps in the road for Rory Harmon. It's hard playing point guard at this level. It's hard being my point guard with the demands that we put on you. And so I couldn't be more proud of her, though. And no, it was, we got 3 days. We got to figure it out.
Jim Allen, Spokesman Review. Shaylee Gonzalez had a lot of success against Gonzaga, as you know, at BYU. What did you see in her, and how has her role changed from maybe not having to carry such a big load as she did at BYU?
Let me tell you something about Shaylee Gonzalez. We wouldn't be where we are today without her. She is the most unselfish, great teammate, great kid. Every day I get the same smiling, energetic young lady. I mean, she is such a blessing to our program for the last 2 years. Very unusual to be a second-team All-American, lead your team in scoring at BYU for 4 years. Now you come to us, and she's not our leading scorer. She doesn't have to be, but that's why she came to Texas. She wanted to be a part of a team and have a chance to play on this stage and play on a bigger stage. And just a special, special kid. I mean, the character of her, the work ethic, just embraces the challenge that our level has brought and just has met it head on, hasn't run from anything, is accountable. Just a tremendous addition to our program. We've won 32, 26, 68 games with her. She has really impacted our program, and I am so thankful that we were able to get her. So I thought, you know, when we took her, you ask, I thought we were getting a kid that would impact our team, and she has done that and then some. You know, whether it's she had an average 17 points a game, well, we haven't needed her to, you know. She had to do that at BYU. She doesn't have to do that at Texas. She just enjoys being on our team. She just wants to win. She tells me, Coach, I don't care. I just want to win. The impact that her and Shay have on this team defensively, it's off the chart. Like, I'm amazed. I can continue to be amazed at those two's progress defensively, how good they are, y'all. I just watched them work out for an hour at Nike. We went through all our defensive stuff, and I'm sitting there going, they're incredible. I mean, they are. My team was really good, but those two stand out because 3 months ago, they didn't have to do what they're doing now on that end of the floor. They got to do that now for us to win. And they just continue to get better, 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 smarter, smarter, smarter. They're just impact kids, man. I'm lucky to have them.
We'll go to Michelle, and then we have a question in the Zoom room.
Hi, Vic. Michelle Smith from The Next.
Yeah.
You have a kid who spent some time in Oregon in the early part of her career in Taylor Jones. There's also a kid who's been through a lot during her college career.
Yeah.
Can you discuss her role on your team and how you got her back to Texas?
Yeah, you know, she has been through a lot. And she made the decision that she wanted to go somewhere else. And, you know, we were, again, fortunate enough to get her. Great story. You know, her daddy's an Aggie. So it's hard for him to put that Texas orange on. And, of course, he asked me that because I went to that school too. And I told him, I said, trust me, brother, it ain't that hard. And so she's it's really cool when he comes to the games. I give him a hard time every time I see him because he's got a Texas Longhorn on somewhere on his body, and he's got Texas orange. And I rib him quite a bit about it. But, you know, I've always said if we could get her healthy, I think she can be pretty good for us. And when she's been healthy, she's been pretty good for us. And so we had her healthy and really rolling early in the season. She had an unfortunate incident and kind of took her out for 2-3 weeks. When you're out 2-3 weeks, it takes 2 or 3 weeks to knock the rust off. And so she's been kind of up and down as far as, you know, maybe stats and numbers, but she's obviously made a big impact on our team. And getting her back in her home state, I know she's loved it. She's enjoyed it. And we've certainly enjoyed having her. She's really impacted our program.
Going out to the Zoom room, Chip Brown, go ahead.
Vic, does Gonzaga reminds you of Oklahoma or any team you've faced this year?
Yeah, they remind me of them, and I don't know how to differentiate between which one's on steroids because they're both just, off the chart. They both shoot the three so well. They're both really have a presence, got players that have a presence on the floor that are unflappable. And so, they do, in a lot of regards, they do, except I have to say, is it pronounced Ejim? Yeah, so Ejim is really unique, and she is tough. She is a really, that's somebody you better know where she's at and what she's doing all the time. And so, again, from the comparison perspective, absolutely. And they're both very, very similar. They both want to shoot the three, and they're both really good at it. And, gosh, all you have to do is look at the Utah game the other night. I mean, Gonzaga had already made more threes in the first half than they were averaging on the year, if I'm not mistaken. It was late. I was dozing in and out, but I've already rewatched it on the airplane yesterday and one time before that, but I know I saw that graphic somewhere.
Lindsay and then Alexa.
Lindsay Schnell, USA Today. Vic, first of all, I'm curious because I saw you look down at your stats right there. Do you go anywhere without your stack of papers? Do you go to dinner with them also?
This time of year I don't. I have a file on everybody, and if I've played you more than once or twice, I usually have a couple of files. There's some teams, Kansas State, I've got 3 files on, and
Okay.
I'm always going over my notes. So,
What I really wanted to ask you, though, was your point, you had 3 days to figure out when Rory went down. So you put Maddie in there. I keep waiting for her to play like a freshman. Do you keep waiting for that? At this point, do you consider her just a veteran who can do everything? And with your whole team, are you impressed by that? Like, you haven't played like you've lost an All-American.
yeah, and I think you have to, obviously 2 things are involved here. First, you got to give Madison credit. It wasn't easy early. Like, that first 5 minutes, if you go look at our Baylor game, like, she's throwing it all over the gym. I mean, 5th row, 8th row, rolling it off her foot. I mean, I had to get her out and set her down and calm her down, and then she came back in and was fine. I think the other part has not only she is really accepted and embraced her role and likes it now, part of that transformation is because her teammates have just encouraged her and been there and supported her through it all. I think we went to Lubbock. That was the second game. She had 6 turnovers in that game, but it just didn't seem to be that bad. We won by 27. That might be one of the reasons, but still, it just didn't seem to be as bad. And then you fast forward, throughout the whole deal, and you get to the conference tournament championship game. She has 25. She's the most outstanding player. And the biggest stat she wants to show me is the 0 turnovers in that game. That's a point guard. Their number 1 stat for a point guard is the W. The second most important stat is the turnovers. And she's just really embraced the importance of running our team and not losing the importance of her role in scoring for us, because she's got to score for us. And again, I just had to do it 15 minutes ago. I have to get on her for turning down a shot. She's so unselfish, to a fault. Drives me crazy. Most of the time, coach will sit up here and talk about kids that are selfish, that, maybe take bad shots. That isn't Madison. So, you know what? It doesn't even occur to me anymore that she might have a bad game, and it's because she's a freshman. If she has a bad game, it ain't going to be because she's a freshman. It might be from some other reason, but it ain't going to be that.
We're short on time. This will be our last question.
You got a date?
I told Jeremy I had to keep it on task.
All right.
We can
My
try.
guy hadn't even been able to ask a question. He came all the way from Austin.
Thankfully, there's an open locker room.
I'll try and be quick then. Hi, Coach. Alexa Philpott, ESPN.
Hey, Alexis.
In December, you told me that you thought your team was only decent defensively, and that was before Rory got hurt. Where would you say they are now? And with her going down, who has had to become that defensive quarterback for your team? Is it the guards like you just alluded to, or have other people needed to also make up for that?
Yeah, so my evaluation would be I'm just proud of where we've evolved to defensively because they get it. They understand that on our good nights, we're usually locked in on that end, and that transfers over to our offensive cohesion and our chemistry there. We've been pretty good. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. The last 24 hours before we played Alabama, I thought they're averaging 76 points a game in the SEC. I'm like, we're going to have to score 80 to beat them. I was so worried about them. I think they're so good. Christy does a great job. Offensively, they had so many weapons, and we go in there and lock them down to 54. Like, I walked off the court going, I can't believe we just did that. But then I look at my team throughout the course of the year and the teams we've had to play, an Iowa State team that's so hard to guard. They got the monster inside that's so hard to deal with. She's so good. Great guard play. That point guards, I've had so much respect and admiration for her whole career. You can go through K-State. You go through all of them. Every team in our league, but we've done a pretty good job. We've had games where we've held people in the 40s and 50s. So I'm proud of where we've evolved to defensively. We're pretty good, most nights. I don't want to say we're in and have a train wreck tomorrow night. I don't want to jinx myself, but, they get it. I mean, like I said, I've watched them now this morning, and they were really locked in. The person that had to become Rory is Shea Holly. Probably my third option. She got the third best player or best guard before Rory went down. Shaylee usually got the second. Rory got number one. Shea had to become my lockdown defender, and the kid evolves into an all Big 12 defensive team player. Amazing. Amazing. But I could go through each one of our kids and talk about how they've elevated their game, both ends of the floor. Shea Holly's on the all-defensive team because she cares. That's it. You can talk about the work, you can talk about everything she's done, the time she's put in, but she doesn't do all that if she doesn't care. Shea Holly is a giver, just like Shaylee Gonzalez. I got two guards out there, they just want to win. Tonight, we're going to go 2 for 12, Coach, against Alabama, but we're going to lock down Nye, who is an unbelievable offensive player, hold her to 6 for 18. Then we're going to go over and go get that other guard, and we're going to hold her to 7 for 19, who's first team All-SEC. That's the kind of kids I got. That's what's made it so fun to coach them. So they're just winners. That's all they know. I've watched it all year. I've shaken my head a bunch, but all they do is win.
All right, Coach, thank you very much, and best of luck tomorrow.
All right, I hope I see you again.
I hope we will, one way or another.
Praise the
Absolutely.
Lord and hook 'em horns. Thank y'all for being here.
Note to self for tomorrow, if you want a question with Coach Schaefer, get your hand up early. Oh, that's 29 in 2019 and 2019 year. All right, joining us in the practice day press conference, student athletes from the University of Texas, Shay Hawley, Aaliyah Moore, and Madison Booker. Please remember to say your name and affiliation and which player your question is directed towards when you ask your question. And at this time, we will open the floor up to questions. We'll start with Lindsay.
Lindsay Schnell, USA Today. Hi, ladies. Welcome to Portland. Shay, my question's for you. So Taylor Jones played her first couple of years of college ball out here, transfers home, where she's from. What has she brought to the team? How happy are you that she's did decide to come home?
Yeah, I know. I think coming back here, she's very happy that she came home. I think it's having her on the team just really opens so much up for us. Like, she's such a presence inside, and people really have to focus on her. And so as a guard, it helps us out a little bit. I think people tend to collapse on her, maybe try to double, so it opens up the wing a lot. But yeah, I mean, she is such a force inside. Rebounding, she's so long. She alters a bunch of shots on defense. So really just on both ends of the floor, yeah, she's helped us out a lot.
Greg Lee with the Spokesman Review. Aaliyah, Gonzaga is very balanced offensively. How do you guys go about defending them?
Yeah, I mean, they are a very smart and fundamental team. So we are really going to have to lock in on defense, and that's something that we've talked about. And our plan is to execute the scout. But I think it's started back in September, practicing every day, working hard in practice, doing all our defensive drills 100%. But we just need to lock in. We need to play our game, play Texas basketball, and we'll be just fine.
Danny Davis, Austin American Statesman. Aaliyah, since the Oklahoma game, how would you assess how your team has done with its rebounding and winning those battles down there?
Ooh, a lot better. That game was low, as I'm sure many of you saw. We gave up 5 possessions in a row with no rebound that we needed the rebound. It was very vital, and we came in the next day. I think that we needed that almost in a way. It was halfway through the season, maybe a little bit towards the end, but we needed that. I think we needed a news flash of teams are not going to back down, and just because we might be bigger does not mean that we're going to get every rebound. So we need to lock in on the fundamentals. We need to box out, put a butt in the gut, and I think that we've done that in the practices since. And so I'm really proud of us. I think that's something that teams have had to focus on against us, is boxing us out, because we crash the boards hard.
Lindsay?
Lindsay Schnell, USA Today. Coach was just in here talking about how, Maddie technically is a freshman, but she doesn't play like one. But I wondered, in what ways does she act like a freshman? Or is she just super mature all the time, acting like a veteran?
We just got done talking about her and her Legos. So, no, she actually is pretty mature, honestly. I forget that you're, 18?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy, honestly. No, she's silly, she's goofy, but overall, she is pretty mature, I'll say.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I spend a good amount of time with Book outside of the court too, and she's definitely sometimes I have to tell myself, but she is a freshman, but there's those moments where I'm like, yeah, there it is. There it is for sure.
Madison, would you like a rebuttal chance?
No, I'm good. Everything they said was right.
Alexa, mic's on its way.
Alexa Philpott, ESPN. Coach was talking about with us earlier just the way that you guys have had to step up defensively, Shay with you in particular, but Aaliyah and, I mean, whoever wants to add to this, you can feel free. What are the ways that you feel like you all have had to elevate the defensive game or just your effort, especially once Rory went down?
Yeah, I think especially when Rory went down, she kind of not only ran our team, but especially on the defensive end, she really set the tone for us. And so we knew it was going to be a team effort because not just one person can fill the role that she does. But I think we all, more than just getting extra reps and doing more defense in practice, I think it was more of a mental thing. Just really knowing that we have to embrace that when our defense is good, everything else kind of flows for us. So it all starts on that end. And really just, like I said, embracing it. And I think we have, and it's shown. And then obviously I think going against each other and going against our practice players has helped. But yeah, just the extra reps and then really just the mental piece.
Yeah, I mean, Shay hit it. She hit everything.
I was just going to say that when Rory was playing, I think she kind of shadowed our defensive problems on that end. And so when she went down, we knew that they were going to come to light. So we had to do something about it. And I think we just stepped up as a team. And we knew that we had to have each other back and play team defense because that's what I was going to come down to.
We're going to go ahead and go to the Zoom room. Chip Brown, go ahead, please.
I guess for Aaliyah and for for all three, does Gonzaga remind you of Oklahoma at all? And if so, how?
Actually, a little bit. I could see the comparison. The smart, patient ball, kind of waiting for that moment you turn your head. They're going to backdoor you. They make a lot of smart moves, smart passes. So I could definitely see the comparison. I never thought about that, but yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. I think both teams can shoot the ball really well. They're going to use the shot clock, and you're going to have to lock in that whole time on defense. Yeah, they're super smart. Not necessarily super big inside, but yeah, they spread the floor, so definitely some similarities. So we've seen the style before.
Yeah, and they play Harvard basically 40 minutes just like OU do, so we don't have to, match their intensity all 40 minutes.
Danny Davis, Austin American Statesman. I'm going back to a previous question. Shay, how have you evolved defensively over the last 3-4 years? We've obviously always known you for your hustle and your heart, but as far as the actual defensive part of it, how much have you evolved?
Yeah, I think now, 4 years in, it's definitely comes more naturally to me, I think. Freshman year, I think I had to think a lot about where I was supposed to be, what I was supposed to be doing, and it kind of made me a step slow. So just the comfort of knowing Coach Schaefer's style of defense and knowing where I'm supposed to be and how he wants it done, mixed with just working on it every single day. I mean, I go against our guy. I'm guarding the ball every single day in practice, and these are guys that are super quick, and they keep me humble for sure. They get by me. But once I get to a game, it makes it a lot easier, and I think that's shown. But yeah, I think my defensive game has definitely evolved a lot. Coach Schaefer would definitely agree. Me and him make jokes just about freshman year I couldn't guard the dead kind of thing. But yeah, I think it's really just I put my head down and go to work, and I think it's really just the work that pays off.
Lindsay?
Lindsay Schnell, USA Today. Maddie, you're in a unique situation in that, Rory goes down and gets hurt, but she's there. She's at every practice. She's on the bench talking to you. I'm sure that she has helped you a lot. What has that relationship been like, and what have you learned from her?
I mean, I just really about learn anything with being a point guard and how I'm supposed to run a team. I think her biggest advice to me was that I need to make sure how I play is going to show to the rest of my teammates. For example, one game I wasn't doing too well, and it was showing on my face. I was pretty mad, of course, and she stopped and pulled me over and said, hey, your teammates see how you're looking, so now it's affecting them. So, I mean, the relationship there is just like a little big sister. So, yeah, she's just giving me great advice, and she's helped me grow every day.
Alexa?
For Aaliyah or Shay, for Madison to do what she's doing and playing a position she wasn't necessarily used to take over a team like she has, do you feel like she maybe even nationally or however you want to frame it isn't necessarily getting the respect that she might deserve for doing everything that she's done and leading you guys?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm always going to ride for mine. Maddie's my point guard, so I think she deserves everything that she has coming for her. She's an amazing player. I'm with her every day, so I see the work that she's putting in that a lot of outside people don't. But I think at the same time, Maddie would tell you she doesn't need all the awards to know her worth, and neither do we. Don't need to see her get all those awards to know that she's one of the best, in my opinion, in the country. And so I think we instill that confidence in her. She has her own confidence, so it doesn't really matter, what people think, as long as we know and we're solid in our base. But yeah, in my eyes, she's player of the year in every category. So
yeah, I would agree with everything. I think that's one of my favorite things about Maddie is that she really doesn't care about any of that, and she doesn't care how many points she scores. She actually likes having assists, I feel like, more. But yeah, she'll be like, oh, that's cool, that's great, but most important stat is winning. So I think if she just keeps that, she'll get all the awards that she deserves, and she does deserve every single one, in my opinion. But yeah, she's not worried about it. We're not worried about it. We know that she's focused, and we have all the confidence in the world in her.
Just ball, Maddie.
Just ball.
Just ball.
Any other questions? Go to Lindsay and then back to Alexa.
Lindsay Schnell, USA Today. Maddie, so Texas sent out the cookbook to national media members as a Player of the Year campaign. So and there are some recipes in the back, but what I want to know is, like, do you actually cook those recipes? I got the impression it was grandma. Can you cook off the court?
Yeah, I do. I only cook one recipe, and that's hibachi, and that's my favorite thing to eat. Yeah.
So what?
Hibachi.
Oh, hibachi. Okay.
Hello? Oh, there we go. Maddie, Coach was talking about how, I guess it was in the Big 12 championship game, the stat that you were most proud of was 0 turnovers, and that you came a long way from some higher turnover games earlier, just when you were first taking over. How has that process been like for you? And obviously, you're a player that's very unselfish, and so you're not worried about the points, but even just being able to embrace that role as he said, you're a true point guard, you're unselfish, and you care about, limiting those turnovers.
Oh, yeah, I think that's the most important stat, just like in all of basketball. Just going from having just high turnovers, just trying to make sure I limit my turnovers to like 3 or less is really my goal, really 2 or less. And I mean, none would be awesome, great. But I just think what that means to me is if I can limit my turnovers, then my team can limit their turnovers and more possessions for us to score.
Any other questions? All right, seeing none, thank you very much, and best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
That's it for our press conferences today. Our first one tomorrow, bright and early at 8:05. Bring your coffee.